Obtenu, Cette. No, Fog Entertainment is not patched over to the Paris charter of Sons of Anarchy. We are just simply revealing the title of the season finale in French, and that is fact numero uno, and it translates to boasting. But another translation is I've got this, and I guess I got this could technically be boasting in a way, but the French translation is weird. In all these languages, you've got all these different meanings for like certain words, and that's pretty much what's happened here. But fact number 2, its last appearance of Pope, who sadly passed away, and fact number 3, its last appearance of Dondo, who didn't pass away, but in a weird ass deleted scene, he was put in a pink dress and made to ride like a mechanical donkey outside some store, which was a bizarre scene, by the way, and I can absolutely see why they deleted it.
Yeah, scenes like that don't really add anything to the actual episode. Probably takes away.
It probably does. I mean, you did have a
like,
bit...
I'm fine with it being in like the DVD, and if they want to include the bonus scenes or whatnot, you know, here's a wee scene of this guy looking like an arsewipe, but I don't think that's something that adds anything to the actual episode. So
now, I mean, I guess Tig was playing with the dog they rescued, and Jax was looking at him, and he was kind of feeling, you know, a wee bit of sorrow and guilt about what he might have to do later on this episode. There was another deleted scene with they punched Nero's like lieutenant guy who tried to kill them a few episodes ago, which I guess makes sense. It's not like SAMCRO just going to completely let that go. And there was also another one with Unser saying to Clay, were you really the ones behind the Nomad attack? And Clay's like, yeah, I'm sorry. And then Clay walks away as Unser looks. And that is pretty much the final scene that Clay and Unser share. So I think that would have been a good scene not to delete. Because, I mean, Clay and Unser's relationship's pretty iconic.
It is, yeah, and it all comes to an end with that deleted scene.
Which no one gets to see. But anyway, guys, we begin this episode. Tara writes a letter, Gemma writes a letter, both to Jax and Nero. Oh, look after the birds. And Tara's like, I'm looking after the kids. But Jax, he's heading in to the city. He's heading into Oakland, and he's meeting with August and Pope. You see a bit of distension here in the ranks, because Pope doesn't want to give Jax this letter of intent to give him all the charm and hype business, but August is like, oh, it's alright, Jaxie boy, I'll send the facts over. And then Pope had a look of disgust, like, you stupid crackhead bitch.
Did August overstep the mark?
Oh, I like that. Yeah. I think he did.
I think he did. We've seen a few times, though, when Jax and Pope have been having conversations, August has took it upon himself just to interject himself into the conversation and answer for Pope. And we'll never really know if anything was going to happen there, but sure, Pope doesn't seem like the kind of guy that likes to be spoken for.
No.
I can understand if he isn't there and August Marks wants to speak for him and he's got the direction and approval, then 100%. But I always found it a bit weird when August Marks would be standing next to Pope and like Jax would be asking questions and August would be the one answering them. I always found that a little bit strange.
It would be a bit weird, and also I think you can see a couple of scenes where August and Jax are talking almost in the sense of like, oh, what happens if Pope goes away? And he's like, oh well, I'd probably take over. And then Jax is like, something tells me about you, you're patient as well as loyal. They do plant the seeds in these things. It's almost like, did August Marks kind of know that Jax was going to do this? I guess it's never really revealed, but here, it's up in the air, it's mystery. But they set the meet for Tig for 2 p.m. Don't be late, Jackie boy. We see Juice, he's loading something into the side of a bike. Later on, that will be revealed as Clay's gun. Clay then tells Gemma that they're leaving for Belfast at 4:30. Fresh start. You could have done a spin-off there, potentially. You could have. Could you? An IRA spin-off in Belfast?
I would have been all for it.
Ron Perlman. I mean, I think you could say with the way Clay went out in jail, he maybe deserved a wee bit better. And I think a Ron Perlman spin-off as Clay in Belfast regrouping could have worked.
True, but I mean, at that point, the main show was in full effect. Do they really want to add a spin-off?
True, but I think spin-offs work more when the main show's in full effect. Like, obviously, like The Walking Dead, you got like a Rick spin-off, for example, like 7 years after he left.
A lot of people aren't really crying out for spin-offs while the main show's still on air. It's like, I don't think anybody was really caring about a Mayans MC spin-off when Sons was active.
True.
And it's like, people aren't exactly, and like you used The Walking Dead, for example, people weren't exactly calling for a Shane spin-off when the main show was going on.
Daryl and Merle.
Or a Daryl and Merle spin-off. But it's almost when those characters die and they're no longer in the show, or the show ends, you look back and you go, well, that would have been a good opportunity, or I wish we could have got that, or I wish they still give us this. But I don't think anybody really wanted to see a Clay Morrow spin-off when Sons of Anarchy was in full effect. I think they were more interested in seeing what was going to happen with Clay next in the SOA universe, rather than him regrouping and starting a brand new show in Ireland.
Absolutely, but here...
I mean, I think I would rather the payoff between Clay and Jax in the main show than have years taken away for that and focus on Clay in Ireland.
Absolutely, but it won't stop us making a fairy fid on it, that's for sure. But
no, definitely not, no.
Wendy shows up at the hospital, shows Tara that Jax injected her last night with a lethal injection, and so, yeah, Tara's probably realising what Jax is becoming at this stage of the game. But SAMCRO, they're backing up Nero because they're going to try and push Dondo out. Does this entire sequence? It doesn't really scream season finale to me.
No, it doesn't. But I would like to bring up the part where we've got Jax's Jax's ex-wife Wendy, basically trying to tell Tara what to do, saying that she needs to get the boys out of here. Tara then screams at her and says, "I'm getting out." Like, is it really Wendy's call to decide what's best for the kids? Like, does she really need to come over here with like this moral fucking high ground and pretend as if she's putting the kids first? I mean, if she did that, then she wouldn't be...
I do hate the moral high ground that like these former addicts and, you know, criminals take. It's
I don't think...
You can change, right? But let's not pretend that you're perfectly squeaky clean.
No, I don't think Wendy's got any right to come in and try and tell Tara how to raise her kids or what to do.
She doesn't. You look at Nero, right? I would say Nero used to be like a scumbag. He's admitted to that. But, you know, 10 years in Chino, he read a lot of books and he wised up. I don't think Nero's ever going to be telling Jax how to raise his fucking kids.
No.
Even though I think Nero at this stage of the game potentially could be a better role model for his kids.
Look at when Nero and Jax are talking and Nero's advising them. It's like, it's not like Nero's like, I'm right or whatever, listen to me.
It's advisory, not demandatory.
Nero's like advising Jax, and it's like he cares. He wants Jax to make the right decisions and maybe not make the mistakes that he made. He wants Jax to get out while he still can. And Jax is saying the same things for Nero, but it's almost like they're pleading with each other, you know, they're advising each other. They're not screaming or demanding that you need to get out like Wendy was to Tara. And I just don't think Tara has that right to demand that.
She doesn't. And Wendy, I mean, I don't mind the Wendy character, but it's almost like a trait of hers. Like, blindly obnoxious, I would go as far as explaining it. But Dondo, let's go back to him. Essentially, there's dog fighting going on here. Tig takes obsession to this, man. He bursts outside. There's dead dogs in the garbage cans. Like, I mean, there's piles of them. He's like, this is so wrong, man. They get Dondo. Then the Mayans show up. Then Nero shows up in the back of a pickup truck. I don't know. It just doesn't really scream season finale to me.
Yeah, it seems like something that should be happening.
I get it. You can't just manufacture these like big shootouts for a big finale. I mean, there has to be build up, and I guess there wasn't really that here. It's not like we can build up Dante for 5 episodes just for this, right? But anyway, I guess it leads up. I guess you see Tig's nice side, that he's very animal friendly and animal orientated, and it makes it's tugging on Jax's heartstrings here. He doesn't want to kill Tig, damn it. But what I want to talk about next is a pretty, I think, an underrated scene where Otto bites his tongue off. He says, "You want me to speak? Well, go fuck yourself." And I think this backs up Otto that he's not a rat. I know he did rat, right? But it's not like he ratted because he was weak the last time. He ratted because he felt the club completely jobbed him out.
And they did.
Aye.
There's no doubt about it. The club did betray Otto.
Yeah, and I think what he does here is just proof to show that if he had to bite his tongue off for the club, he would. And I guess you could say in a way he did.
Is there anyone else sitting at that table that would? I mean, they'll talk a good game.
Aye.
I'm not sure there's anyone else in the club that would have done what Otto's done.
Bite their tongue off.
That would have went through the punishment that Otto's went through inside, that would have done the things that Otto done, basically sacrificing his freedom and future for the club. So, see when people say that Otto's a rat, see when Bobby turned around and was like saying you rat it, that actually did piss me off. Like,
I know.
I don't feel Otto's a rat.
Because, no, yeah, I don't feel it was a rat, right? But the club did him so wrong. Like, Bobby's screaming at him. He's like, you're the guy that slept with his wife.
And for all Otto knows, you could have killed his wife.
Yeah. It's not like with Juice. It's like the club didn't do shit to Juice. He just rat it on his own.
Yeah.
Like, you've got loads of examples of that.
Juice, you can't put Juice and Otto in the same category.
No, nowhere near the same category. Nowhere near. Even though I guess they were past and present of a RICO investigation. But, yeah, Otto's told to state his name for the record. He goes to speak, he whips his tongue out, he bites down on his tongue. Now, I don't know if this is actually physically possible, right? But I would say you could bite a decent portion of your tongue off, but it looks like Otto bites the full thing off. But some people have long tongues, so maybe Otto did have a long tongue.
Nah, he didn't bite the full thing. He probably ate half it.
Yeah, and then the ice, the cherry on the cake was picking it up and throwing it at the double-sided mirror. Way to commit, Otto.
See, I don't remember him doing that. Maybe I'm retarded for thinking this. I actually thought he put it back in his mouth and spat it at the window. For some reason, that's what I thought that happened. But
he'd have to have pretty good aim, to spit it at the window.
And see the way the tongue just sticks to the window, then slowly slides down.
Well, way to commit.
And it's a great line as well for Turek.
Turek?
Torek, sorry.
Has he got Tourette's or something, Turek?
Maybe, aye.
Maybe, but yeah, I think this is a seriously underrated scene.
No, it's not talked about enough. It's not. See, when you think of most like shocking scenes in Sons of Anarchy, this has to be up there.
Yeah. You think of interrogation scenes, right, across every TV show. I mean, I would put this up there.
Yeah, I don't really remember tongues getting fucking chomped down on him.
Aye, so I mean,
cut off.
Absolutely. Like, that's what I liked, right? See a guy who created a show, he could very easily shoehorn his way into it. But I think every time Otto's on screen, it's with a purpose.
He's not just there for dead scenes.
Aye.
He's not just there for the sake of him. Oh, let me get some screen time.
Yeah. Gemma gets wind that Tara looks like she's going to Oregon. She's going to Providence. So Gemma shows up, grabs Tara by the throat, punches her, says, "You can't take my family anywhere." Tara's like, "It ain't your family." I mean, yeah, it is Gemma's family, right? But at the end of the day, she's the fucking grandmother. She doesn't have a horse to pick here.
It's not even like she has Jax on side either.
Yeah. It's not like Tara's the stepmom even. I guess she has the stepmom of
Well,
Abel,
is she really? At this point, I mean, season 1, season 2, maybe. At this point, end of season 5, is she really the stepmom?
No, she's
Her
the
and
mama.
Jax are married as well.
She's the big mama. Married in a brothel, damn it. Gemma doesn't really have much of a point here, but she punches her in the stomach and says, "I hope you're not pregnant." Which, in a season's time, did this give...
I think the light bulb just switched on here.
Aye, for Tara. If I build that case against her and whip that out, then seriously, it could happen. Absolutely, yeah. We have Jax, he goes to Unsur and he tells him that the only family Lee Torek had was his sister. He was forced into an early retirement, so it looks like you're in deep shit. Deep waters.
He's a bit of a dodgy guy.
He absolutely is a dodgy guy. And talking of dodgy, things are taking a turn for the worst here because Jax says him and Tig are going to deal with the dog breeders. Gemma then shows up at Clay's house. You've got Gemma and Juice hanging around Clay like flies on shite. He just knows something bad's going to go down for Clay tomorrow.
Clay didn't know it though.
No, Clay didn't know it. But essentially what happens here is we get Jax and Tig. They show up at this like isolated area. Jax did tell August Marks and Pope that he would be late. But I think he did that so he could get here early and get Tig. So I was going to say lubed up. That's not probably the right terminology to use. But anyway,
no, I'm pretty sure he done that so story about Clay getting there first would.
Aye, makes sense. Aye. So yeah, Jax gets Tig at gunpoint here. It's like, "What the hell are you doing, brother? It all comes around, Tiggy." Did you think that Jax was going to job him out first time watching?
What I did,
I see if he did. I think this is almost. He couldn't come back for this. He's just given up a member.
True, but I mean, look at the shite Tig's done. Killed Donna, and he can say that he didn't mean that, but I mean, he was willing to kill Opie. So what, killing a member's okay, but giving a member up ain't? Plus, when you think about it, Tig was the one that almost like forced Clay into doing it. He pressurised Clay. I think Clay was reluctant to do it.
He put the shitstorm in motion.
But Tig was the one that, was basically pushing Clay, we need to go through with this, we need to end this. So yeah, for me, I mean, Tig has done a lot, and he's basically the one that got Opie killed by, I know he was told a lie by Clay, but I mean, he's the one that went after Pope. Leroy ended up killing Veronica. I mean, he's made his bed.
He has made his bed.
But while I don't agree, I wouldn't agree with Jax if he did hand him over here, but it's like,
you can see why.
You can kind of see why.
Do you think if Pope didn't have such a big hand in Opie's death, Jax might have let Pope kill Tig here? Does that give him more reason to let Pope kill Tig?
I don't know. It's still selling it abroad, isn't it?
It is still selling it abroad, but at least Jackie Boy has morals. But Pope, they take the big man. They take Tig into the accommodation. Jax gets his gun hoovered off him, so you even think at this point, Jesus, Jax is gunless. What's he going to be able to do? But remember, just put Clay's gun in the side
What
bit.
would have happened if just forgot to put that? I'm going to assume that Jax is checked here before driving off.
Aye. Imagine Jax opens it and it's just a letter for just go fuck yourself.
Or it's the documents for his black daddy or something. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to use this?
Once a rat, always a rat.
Hey, Paul, here's some black documents.
I guess he would have just had to have let Pope kill him. Could he have come in with a knife and deflect it? Like,
Also, though, I mean, with hindsight, is this not a gamble from Jax? How did he know how many guys Pope was going to bring?
true.
Let's say Pope brings...
I think it was a risk he was willing to take, though.
I think he brought 4. Let's say Pope brought... Let's say he brought 8. I know Jax had the silencer. I don't care how good a shot he is. I don't think he shoots all 8 guys
Yeah,
before someone puts him down.
probably not. What if he brought August Marks with him? That guy would...
That's his plan out the window.
That's it. It's just plan out the window, but yeah. We get in, Jax drops everyone. Tig manages to push Pope to the ground. He's like, you stupid cracker bitch, this wasn't our agreement, son. He's like, you know what happens? Whoever fucking kills me. He's like, yeah, I'm counting on it. No, it's not a throwaway line for Jax because that's exactly what he's counting on. He's counting on whoever kills Pope to go down.
Yeah,
and of
that's what
course,
he needs.
Tig uses Clay's gun. Tig realizes this. He's like, this is Clay's gun. He's like, yeah, you got a problem with that, Tiggy? You still on my payroll, buddy?
I do feel bad a bit for Tig and Juice, though, because like they clearly don't really want, especially Juice. He doesn't want to betray Clay, but he's almost got like no choice.
It's almost like Juice has to re-rat on the club by jobbing at Clay, in a way.
But no, I don't get, right? See now that Pope is dead, surely Tig is no longer under the thumb, even though he's still loyal to Jax to the end. You can understand that really Juice has not really got a leg to stand on, and for Juice's eternity in the club, he's going to have to be a yes man, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's going to have to pretty much go in whatever direction Jax leads him to. But with Tig, it's like, all right, how much longer does Tig have to... Remember, Jack, yeah, every play you fought with me, you never go against. How much longer does Tig need to keep that up for? Or is it a lifetime thing?
I would say once Pope's out the way, it's kind of out the windy. I would say.
That's what I'm saying.
But then with Jax sparing his life and letting him kill Pope's almost like a double down.
So now he needs to be loyal again.
You need to do it all you can, buddy. But Juice, he's freaking out. He tells Clay, you gotta go. There's gonna be a rap at the door. He's like, what are you talking about, son? There's a knock at the door. It's all over. Clay answers
Big
it.
angry black man.
He's like, this gun was used in the murder of Damien Pope. He's like, I didn't leave the house. He turns to Jim. Tell him, Jim. He went out for a few hours. I didn't think he'd kill anyone. And Clay, the penny drops, his arse collapses. It's like Trump won the election. Ron Perlman is out the window,
And
out the door.
he realises that, fuck, everyone's just betrayed me.
The two people I was hanging on to here for dear
Hook, line
life.
and sinker, Jax has done me a kipper.
Is Clay the sort of guy to run? Say Roosevelt's car broke down by 5 minutes and just tells him. Is Clay going to seriously jump on his bike and just drive off? I guess he could have went to Belfast. He was going.
Plan, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's going to make Clay look a bit weak, like if he just...
See when Juice told him you need to get out of here and the door went, should Clay know if made a run for it then?
He could have, but I guess he didn't actually know what was happening. But I guess by just saying that, he should have maybe caught on.
What would have happened though if Clay did go on the run? Would Jax have guessed Jax would have, well, Gemma was there, so Jax would have been able to put 2 and 2 together and realise that Juice tipped them off, and would Juice's secrets have came out and would Juice have been Mr. Mayhem?
Nah, I think so.
Was Juice basically sacrificed himself here to try and protect
But then would
Clay?
Bobby have hung around and purposely said no for Juice because he knew he was using it against Clay, and Bobby didn't agree with that. But anyway, Clay gets arrested. We cut to the clubhouse. Juice and Tig, they're not saying nothing. Bobby calls out Jackson. He's like, I know what you did to bring down Clay. You had a chance to be different. You had to be smart enough not to hurt it, buddy. Jack says, maybe I'm not so different. And he says this looking not so different.
I don't think he is.
No, he's not. It's definitely a Clay maneuver that he's done here.
Make a case he's worse.
What I would argue is, I think Clay probably would have just did it himself.
Probably.
Jax did abide by the rules, technically, you could say. Did kill him, just got him arrested, which I think is a scummy move, by the way.
Yeah.
Getting someone arrested.
Clay going down for a murder that he didn't commit, considering that there's so many that he did, it's just like ironic, but
It's a wee bit dirty.
doesn't feel right.
Yeah, Bobby cuts off his VP patch. Is a wee bit later than this, by the way.
I think this feels a bit like ratting. It does feel very snake-like, doesn't it?
I mean, he is going to Roosevelt, the job at a brother. Guess just did it to the whole charter, like, but I guess it spins as the same thing, to be honest. But you get Gemma talking to Nero, generic talking here. Jack shows up. Nero gives him half of Dante's stuff. Jack's like, nah, that's indebted, big man. That's a wee down on what we owe you.
Nero's like, nah, I don't want it. Nero just doesn't want money.
He's like, that'll sort itself out.
Nero's in the game for the long run. He just doesn't want that farm. He's trying to give away all his money.
I know.
He's desperate not to buy it.
It's mad, like he's just whipped out.
What's that, Jax? You need $500,000 for your ex-crack whore? I've got it, buddy. Screw my little son, cripple, Lucius.
He
doesn't need a farm with animals.
No, see with 500,000, like, am I wrong to think that you could really do some serious damage to spinal bifida? Like, fix it? I know it is talked about that it gets worse, but then again, I think Walter White would have probably did something for Walter Jr., wouldn't he?
Probably. Like, I don't think money fixes that, right? But what money does do is give you a good life. And as much as I like Nero, and I think Nero's a stand-up guy, is he a bit of a deadbeat dad? Is he a bit of an asshole for refusing to get out the game when he's had multiple chances? He's got the money. Jack says you could have afforded to buy that. Nero admits, yeah, I could have bought it years ago or whatever. Is that not poor from Nero that he could buy that farm and he could make that farm accessible for his son, and his son would no longer have to stay in, what's the kind of home that his son's in? It's like a care home kind of thing.
It's like a care home.
Nero could retire, live with his son, see his son every day, make the ramps and stuff, have accessible things for his son, give his son this great life, and he's choosing not to continue to be this bangganger. Now, we can turn around and say... Gangbanger?
Bangganger?
We can turn around and say that Nero read a lot of books inside, but, I mean, is he really changed?
He clearly didn't want to read one on how to be a good father, did he?
The Chris Benoit.
Well, what I would say is, right, I think it's to show an example about like how you never really get the game. And also, if Nero just left as soon as he met Jax, it would be a bit poor for the show. No, I mean, spoiler alert, Nero obviously does get out, and he does get to a farm, and he does bring kids with him, his own son included. So, at least Nero does get out.
Aye, but he should have got it a lot earlier.
Aye, but don't we all, buddy? Right, but it looks all good for Jax. He returns home. He's complaining to Tara that here, see the thing I did with Wendy, we had to do that. We can live here. We can't leave. Clay's away. Tara's like, but if we stay, we're going to turn into the two people we hate the most. Then there's another knock at the door.
There's a goddamn knock at the door.
It's Roosevelt. He's like, I need to talk to you. Jack's like, well, can we not wait? We've put Clay to bed. He's like, oh, I'm not here about Clay. I'm here about Tara. Then the ending...
Penny drops.
The penny drops. The penny drops for quite a few people here. Tara gets arrested. Gemma turns up. Pretty much replicates the ending scene.
Season 4.
Yep. But with her, as Tara watches for the police Land Cruiser.
Is it no a bit weird? Is it no something... Like, is it no like karma or something that Jax gets Clay arrested and then Tara gets arrested shortly after, and then season 6, spoiler alerts, Jax kills Clay, and then shortly after, Tara gets killed.
Then he gets arrested.
It's almost like you reap what you sow.
Yeah, but that's what's poetic about it.
I mean, Jax got Clay arrested and got him killed, and then, like, moments later, I mean, Tara gets arrested, and then, like, a couple episodes later, Tara gets killed.
Clay tries to get Tara killed, then he almost gets killed. There's parallels here. There is parallels, absolutely.
But that one doesn't really work. But well,
it works a wee bit.
Nah. Anyway, let's move on.
Oh, hold on. It works a bit. Clay tries to get Tara killed, and he ends up in the air getting killed. Come on.
Right, okay.
There's half a parallel line in there, right? Anyway, would I say this is probably one of the weaker season finales? Yes, but I wouldn't say it's uneventful. There's a lot that happens. I mean, two main characters go to jail. Clay's officially at the club. Don't know what he's looking at. He's probably going to die. Bobby's handed in his VP patch. Nero's staying. There's a lot going on. What are you giving it?
I like Bobby handing his patch, and I like the Pope stuff, but I just wish the Pope stuff had lasted a bit longer, or even took up more of the episode. For me, we could have had more Pope and Jax and Tig and stuff, and got less of Nero's crew, Dante. That, to me, just didn't really need to be here.
No, I think they could have definitely spread that across, like, the final 2 episodes.
So yeah, I wanted more Pope and less Dante, but overall, I mean, it was a good episode, but I mean, it wasn't great in my opinion. It wasn't up to the usual Sun standards. I'll get a 7 out of 10.
I'll give it a 7 out of 10 as well, right? I mean, I think for like a normal episode, it's pretty great because there's a lot happening, but it's a season finale. You've got to.
Beginning to sound a bit like Trev's Chan there.
No, but you've got to rate season finales differently. You do. There's a lot going on, but I think it missed that power punch. So, aye, 7 out of 10. Till next time. Season 6 will be up next. If I was to put an estimate on when season 6 come out, what would you guess?
Oh God, well, we are what? Early March now. Season 6 should be out around about start of
Summer.
June.
Aye, start of the summer.
June. Mid-June.
It's summertime.